Ah, what a great Sunday, people. The long projected saga, which is normally with transfers, people. Andrea Berta has finally been confirmed as Arsenal's new sporting director. Here you can obviously see him with Richard Garlick signing his contract, or at least signing the contract for the picture. I mean, you very much doubt this is his official contract. And again, it'd be difficult to sign a contract without the pen touching the paper. No disrespect to Berta. But I always find it funny where you see executives, directors, players. This is just me, people. When you see them take pictures, like obviously I know it's customary, but at least just put the pen on the paper. But yeah, man, we finally got Berta. We don't know him, but we know him. We've all read online and seen the 12, 13 years he's put in at Atletico Madrid, helping them win trophies, the recruitment, the ability to pivot, the experience. I've said before, and I'd love to know your thoughts, as well as smashing the like button. Let me know your thoughts. The one thing I like about Berta is he's not emotionally attached to Arsenal. With all due respect to Mikel Arteta and Edu and all of those kind of things, I think we needed an outside voice. Obviously, I like the fact that he's experienced. He's done it in Italy with a couple of clubs. He's obviously been at Atletico. He's experienced. So if we don't get our top targets, he's able to pivot and all of those kind of things. We'll have to see how the power dynamic plays, because many people think that, he's going to have the reins to sack Mikel Arteta if it goes left. I don't know that. We don't know if he's going to sing from the same hymn sheet of the Cronkies. As I've said before, when you look at a couple of our signings, that it doesn't appear unanimously that everybody agrees. You look at Berta, you look at Raya, you look at Kai Havertz, you look at Declan Rice, you look at Calafiori, you look at Mikel Merino. Obviously, David Raya's worked out. We're at with Kai Havertz. The others we don't know. But I only mention that to say, when you read the more credible journalists, The Athletic, which, let's have it right, indirectly Arsenal filter news out through them, they say it's a regular theme in that not everybody unanimously agrees on a player, and Mikel Arteta gets his way, rightly or wrongly. If there is a situation like 65 million for Kai Havertz, could Berta maybe, have as much of a voice as Mikel Arteta, or persuade him to pivot away? I don't think we're going to see much of Berta's work, at least until another year at least, because you'd imagine Arsenal have probably dotted I's and crossed T's for the vast majority of the transfers they're going to do. And you'd imagine in the interview with Berta, they briefed him. So he's probably just got to get that over the line, pick up where other people, whether it's Edu or Ito's, left off. Obviously, the Salibas, the Sakas, the Gabriel Magaleses, all of those kind of players. The young Lewis Skelly and Wanyeri, we need new contracts. We all know the players that need to be moved on. And listen, we said it last summer, but it is a big summer. I'll see it when I believe it, but we need to address all areas: striker, left centre mid, striker, left wing, central midfield. Personally, for me, a left back, get a goalkeeper or two. Maybe they got Garcia lad, and a young player can be the third choice, whether that's Royas, who's allegedly been promoted to the first team, or that's obviously Garcia of Espanyol, who we'll get onto, apparently has a relegation clause. We need to get it right in the summer, man. The summer that I want in the best of days in this 2025 is what we should have had in 2024. And where I look at this season, the saying, people, start as you mean to go on. Did we really start well? Yes, we're second, and there's been injuries, and we've still been able to stay second. And yeah, other teams might have floated, but we don't want to be like other teams. We've established ourselves as one of the best and competitive teams in the domestic league in the last 2 to 3 years. Get over the line. Now, let's be brutally honest. Of the 3 years, I don't think we're as good defensively as we was last season. I don't think we're as good in the final third as we were in the 2022-23 season. We had a poor summer transfer window, and we've kind of just been kicking a can up the bucket. Obviously, when you look back at this season, people will look probably towards the Saka injury and the Gabriel Jesus injury and the whole January period, another window missed. But I think we need to start well. We need to address all areas. And there's a lot of question marks. If Declan Rice is going to stay in the 8, you could ask, is that an upgrade, or is that his best role? Have we truly replaced Xhaka? Have we really sorted out the left-hand side of our pitch, people? Have we got that striker? What was going on with Thomas Partey, Jorginho, who are leaving on paper, but there's equal rumours to say Arsenal would like to keep them? I don't know, people, but we need to get the summer right, man. We need to have a significant summer. Either way, people, Arsenal.com has said, we are delighted to announce that Andrea Berta is joining the club as sporting director. Berta is a hugely respected figure in football and brings with him a wealth of knowledge and experience. He has worked in technical roles for Italian sides Carpendolo, Parma, and Girona, and most recently for Atletico Madrid. Andrea Berta spent almost 12 years with Atleti and played a major role in shaping the squads which won La Liga titles in 2023 2023, 24, and 2020, 2021. Now, obviously, many people said, you know, if City ever fall off, which they're going to hit back next year, we'll be the ones to thingy. We need to assert ourselves. I don't know what the future is going to have for Liverpool. Their fans have question marks over the direction of their owners. Obviously, Arne Slot, the real work starts next season, and that he's reached the pinnacle. He's won the league. Question marks over the immediate contracts running down and other kind of players. You look at City, I think they'll personally hit back, but it seems there's a bit of a rebuild there. We should really be ready to pounce. And I won't go as far as to say a rebuild, but again, the manager's been here 5 years. We fought for a title in 3 years. Give or take, some players have been here longer or less, but let's say 3 years plus. It does not surprise me that we need to sort out a couple of contracts. We potentially need some unpopular exits. We need to obviously shake the boat up and bring players in that are starting level quality. As you know, for a variety of reasons, players over this 3 year period, some players have remained consistent. Saliba, Gabriel, Saka, Odegaard. Some players like the Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko's, and Tomiyasu's, whether it was changing team dynamics, other players being recruited, other players stepping up to the table, tactics changing. Some guys have gone from indispensable to squad players, and it does, you know, the vast majority of this squad has been here for a while. It doesn't surprise me that there needs to be a bit of a shake-up of sorts, people. And yeah, man, obviously, CV in terms of recruitment, the part he played in helping them get Super Copa de España, Super Cups, Copa del Rey's, reaching Champions League finals, claiming La Liga titles of Real Madrid and Barcelona, which are no mean feat, people. He gets my respect for that, essentially. Like, what can you really say? I am thrilled to be joining Arsenal in what is hugely an exciting period for the club. I have watched with great intensity the way Arsenal has evolved in recent years, and I've admired the hard work that has gone into re-establishing the club as a major force in European football with a passionate following around the world. The club has great values and a rich history, and I'm looking forward to playing my part in shaping a successful future with a great team. I cannot wait to get started in my new role, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing my first game at the Emirates together with our supporters. Now, they probably did this because now they can keep the questions to a minimum in relation to Berta with Mikel Arteta. It's been announced. He can give a bit of a PR answer. Obviously, Monday's the press conference. You'd imagine he's going to be asked about Berta. He's going to be asked about Bukayo Saka, probably about Calafiori and the general health of our team, what he thinks we can salvage this season, the tricky test of Real Madrid. And as tricky as Real Madrid, I'm exaggerating a bit, Fulham is bad news for us, and they're going to be a bit of a bruised animal, having gone out of the FA Cup on Sunday, in which Saturday, apologies, in which I would have liked to have been there. I mean, you'd be naive to expect that, you know, just because Arsenal have announced it today, he started work today. He's probably started indirectly a long time ago, but, you know, it's one less cloud of doubt. You know, Edu left in November. We finally, in March, but basically April, we got a couple days left. He's been announced. So yeah, big him up, man, really. And let's see what he can do, man. I don't think he said anything wrong there. Josh Kroenke has said, anybody who knows football, Andrea is an impressive figure. He has a vast knowledge of the game, a great track record, a strong network, and an insatiable desire to build winning teams. Now, I don't want to take words for gospel, but an insatiable desire to build winning teams. That is music to my ears. Andrea will be a great addition to our club. He understands our values and what we stand for, and we have no doubt he'll help us push on and take the next steps in our bid to win major trophies. I hope we do take the next steps in our bid to win major trophies. We undertook a thorough recruitment process, and we were hugely impressed with the level of all the other candidates. But with Andrea's experience and success, he has enjoyed that stood out. We are really looking forward to working together and welcoming him to the Arsenal family. Welcome, Andrea, man. Let's get to work. In terms of Zubimendi, the Sunday Mirror said incoming sporting director Andrea Berta will have the task of completing a deal for Sociedad's midfielder Martín Zubimendi and mid-interest from Real Madrid in the midfielder. So again, where we've done the groundwork, just seeing it through over the line, people. David Ornstein has dismissed potential Real Madrid hijack claims, and he said, without wanting to discredit the reporting of others, I personally haven't heard this. Arsenal are expecting Zubimendi to join them from Sociedad in the summer. I don't know if that means it's completely done, but for some time now, they have been working on the basis that he'll be coming in. A huge amount of work went into getting them to the point while Edu was still sporting director, and subsequently when Jason Ito took over that job on an interim basis. Andrea Berta will be starting soon as Edu's permanent successor, so we'll hope to learn a bit more on this one and other areas in due course. So yeah, everybody is saying that. Even local journalists in Spain is assuming that Zubimendi is going to sign for us. Zubimendi is on his way to Arsenal. There's no need to dwell on it any further. Last year, Barcelona was the name of the move. This year, Real Madrid. They're asking for 60 million, 50 million pounds, and for it to be done quickly so he can say goodbye on the pitch. The idea is Arsenal, unless Real Madrid comes in strong to take him. So maybe it's their desire to want to sign the midfielder, people. Again, reports are saying that he's the main objective of Mikel Arteta. He wants him, and we've been putting in the groundwork. So we'll have to see. But until it's signed off, it's not signed off, if that makes sense. Allegedly, Arsenal hope target gets relegated. This is in relation to Garcia, who not just Arsenal, he's been linked with Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, and a whole host of clubs. He's got a release clause. There's probably a relegation release clause. You never want to be bad mind, and I don't have any skin in the game. I wouldn't necessarily say I want Espanyol to get relegated, but it would help Arsenal, I guess. If they are relegated, his release clause will fall to 15 million euros, people. They currently just sit a couple of points clear of the relegation zone, so survival is far from guaranteed at this stage. Considering that Arsenal are plotting a potential record-breaking summer window, they will take any discount they can so not to fall foul of financial regulations. It's claimed there's another interesting detail in Garcia's contract. Should he get called up to the Spanish national team, his release clause will be risen by 5 million, regardless of whether Espanyol are in the top right. Now, naturally, when you look at Zubimendi, Sesko, Garcia, Nico Williams, I think Arsenal want to pay the ballpark figure of his release clause, but pay a bit more and stretch out the term so it allows us more wiggle room in terms of the accountancy. And then you couple that with obviously having to renew deals. You couple that with having to get some outgoings, maybe having to pivot, because it's not, you look at half the names I said there, they've all got a connection to Spain, but they're all linked with everybody. So we have to be able to pivot. So it's an interesting summer, man. But again, let me know your thoughts. Every now and again, we're linked with Hugo Larsson of Eintracht Frankfurt. We have been linked with Hugo Ekitike. You're seeing what Marmoush is doing at City. Allegedly, Manchester City have held initial talks about recruiting the 20-year-old midfielder. And apparently they're holding out for 20 million. Got a big fan of his technical level. Wouldn't surprise me if they've scouted Omar Marmoush. Naturally, football's got 11 players. They would have seen him. He's been linked with Arsenal. He's been linked with Liverpool. He's been linked with a bunch of football clubs, people. And spare a thought for Frankfurt, because if they lose Marmoush, Hugo Ekitike, and obviously Larsson, I have no doubt clubs like that can rebuild, and they know they'd be sold on. But you get the point. It could be bad news for Arsenal. Arsenal apparently have made several inquiries about the 20-year-old. He has a 60 million price tag on his head. Apparently, there's already been initial discussions with Manchester City. And, apparently we'd prefer to bring in a third midfielder, preferably a young one, to develop alongside Napon. So that tells you want long-term squad buffers. We've gone over the Garcia stuff, people, and we're not going to be stopped being linked with him anytime soon. We've gone over the Larsson thing, people. Naturally, he's going to be happy about any potential interest. Arsenal have pulled ahead of rivals for Benjamin Sesko's signature after making a bid for the Leipzig striker, according to reports. We've been linked with it. At this point, I'm convinced you played for Arsenal. We all know about his release clause. We all know about how we chased him in the summer. If it's not him, we're linked with Isaac. We're linked with Osimhen. We're linked with several players. Every now and again, they throw a different kind of striker in there. Hugo Ekitike, Ritugi, a Moise Keane, etc. And we've been hearing that Sesko wants to make the step up. One of the teams most interested in the striker is Arsenal. The English side, managed by Mikel Arteta, has set its sights on a young attacker as a reinforcement for next season. The Gunners have already expressed their willingness to pay the fee demanded by Leipzig, which puts the player in an even more attractive position of a transfer. Arsenal, who are having an excellent Premier League campaign, really news to me, are looking to continue their growth project and strengthen their squad with top players. Sesko's arrival could add a new dimension to the Londoners' attack, adding physical power, finishing ability, and versatility up front. Although the summer transfer window has yet to open, the possibility of Sesko ending up at Arsenal is becoming an increasingly likely option. His arrival could be one of the biggest deals of this transfer window, consolidating Arteta's team as one of the favourites for next season. It remains to be seen whether other clubs will join the fight for the young striker. But for now, Arsenal appear to be in prime position to complete his signing, people. And that it could be interesting. Obviously, regardless of who the manager is, they're going to sell Sesko at some point. But Marco Reus has been sacked from Leipzig, people, and they're flirting with getting and not getting Champions League football, which obviously has ramifications, people. We've been linked with Liam Delap. Allegedly, Arsenal have held talks over signing Liam Delap, with a report revealing that the striker is ready to leave Ipswich Town in the summer transfer window, as a well-known pundit believes that he would be a stunning acquisition for the Mikel Arteta side. We know we've been linked with a number of forwards. Allegedly, Ollie Watkins is on the radar. Diego Jota is on the radar, people. Why not? Sources have initiated team talk that Ipswich will demand 40 million for the 22-year-old striker. TBR has claimed that the Gunners have held talks with Delap's camp and are confident, and like how confident the striker is. I mean, a striker without confidence is scary, and you would imagine he's someone that won't be playing Championship football if it's mathematically confirmed, which is incredibly likely. Ipswich will not be playing in the Premier League. We've been linked with Randall Koulibaly, allegedly Arsenal, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Manchester City, who are not being mentioned here, but they're also being linked with him. Liverpool, Newcastle, and Tottenham Hotspur are all considering a move to sign him after watching him impress with Juventus. Maybe the law of the Premier League could be great, but you'd imagine Juventus move on Vlahovic, who's still being linked with us, and Koulibaly and someone else will be the guys, people. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on. But the main thing is that we've confirmed the signing of Berta. Let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button and subscribe, man.